and uncontested now. They've got this drop to themselves, rightfully earned through a hard-fought battle there. Seem to have to find themselves now into a fight here shortly.
Yeah, not bad. Third place, 5 eliminations throughout that last game, but with the zone continuously pulling over, I feel like that was a moment they really needed to take advantage of, but at least they're getting the points, moving up the leaderboard, and they're not too far off for zone now. We'll see where this next one pulls, and this next one where it pulls is going to be real telling where the end zone might end up.
Yeah, they're going to need to play for that metal there on into the pump power. Let's do a little update here where Reap seems like his loot is definitely starting to come together right now as well. Where's his team? They're very spread apart right now, just outside of their drop here of the Brutal Boxcars.
Yeah, there's a lot of space, and that's the one thing about this drop spot when you do, whether it's contested or not, a lot of that loot is so spread out that you do spend a good portion of the early minutes of the game just trying to scavenge, get that good loadout, or as best of a loadout as you could possibly get. Death Sails encrypted, 1 elimination so far. After that last game, I would say momentum is on their side.
Ooh, big knock there onto Kaz for encrypted. Larson, Walker's here in a fight. Donnie, Chance, and Mason playing a low ground right now. Pressure coming in from 20 up above. Tough spot to be in as he loses the wall to Walker's here. Walker's is quick. As far as mechanical players go, he is definitely up there. One of the younger players, just starting to make his rise the last year or two. More and more finals appearances are coming through for this guy right here. And he has shown us what he's got. It's a big moment now for him to put up. Larson, a very experienced part of this team here, making the call-outs, playing the side angles, not really putting himself in harm's way just yet.
Man, this is just a scary and risky situation for both of these teams, because you talked about it. This is both teams that you can kind of realistically see in a Major 1 finals, batting out Hurley here in Game 2. Larson trying to go for the top. Donnie's backing him down, but not without sacrifice. Some damage goes out the window, but you can see his ammunition. 3 shots left in the Oni. Calls for some backup, but that little hit step right there, calling for the ammo, cost them some damage again, giving Walker's 20 and Larson a little bit of a momentum shift.
Ooh, Walker's going to get punished here. Now has to slow down. It's going to come down to Larson here. If he can find his tag, he finds it onto Mason. That's going to set him up to give a little bit more pressure back, and Chance is trying to take the fight through the wall here. Larson jumps down a layer. He owns all this, but he's out of material now. This is not looking good. He finds a split met from the metal there. And they are just getting collapsed on right now. All of a sudden, things are not looking too hot for this trio here.
Yeah, the back's really up against the wall. The material count is super low, but it almost seems like on the other side, they're getting the same memo. A lot of resources have been expended without a huge advancement in the fight, so they're just going to try and orb their way on out. Both teams really missing a lot and hurting from that last battle. I would say the only saving grace is hopefully both of these teams did just enough damage so they don't really have to worry about Storm Surge this early in the game.
They definitely did a lot of damage. You can see most telling is that the heals are low, not just the material here. So this disengage is for sure warranted, I would say, from both trios. Yeah. And sometimes, you know what, you just gotta, put your pride aside and know when to just back off and play to recoup your position back into the tournament.
Yeah, due to especially the 2 win conditions, you don't have to get every single elimination to try to catch up on the leaderboard early. Yeah. Clixiamzo, Batman Booga, trying to rotate in from the north, taking advantage of a lot of the teams that rotate next to them. It's part of their game plan. They don't necessarily like to go to that box-box chaotic fight unless they absolutely have to, or just have a super advantage to go for like a pre-piece or something.
Clicks on the move right now. Eyes on Magma. Lost him for a second there. Josh has got the high ground from this major city here. Batman Booga setting up a little bit of a side angle, gets punished for it, unfortunately. As Void Oni Mask is out, so he'll be able to teleport if he has to.
They know if anybody's up there, they got to move towards the south. They're just kind of hoping they move in their direction. But we can see on the mini-map, they're choosing to rotate a little bit towards the west before they make their downward pull towards the south and inevitably the zone. And that's where it's kind of up to Click, Siamzo, Batman, Bugha. They have a little bit of a better position. They can cut them off, or they can kind of rotate directly in towards zone and get a better position. Taking advantage of a lot of the teams that rotate next to them. It's part of their game plan. They don't necessarily like to go to that box-box chaotic fight unless they absolutely have to, or just have a super advantage
decision to land
go
at the
for like a
Magic
free
Mosses if
piece or something.
can't get the pickup here, but off to Reboot Van we go. Deep into the storm here. There's a team waiting. Little does he know, likely another team trying to play for a pickup here shortly. It's Aiden Hound and higher. We knew that they were going to have to force a fight given that they gave up their contested drop. Teams have backed their way out. And it's looking very, very good for them right now. They get to secure this elimination here. That's going to be a Void Oni Mask is out, so he'll be able to teleport piece right there. And off they go, rotating south now.
They know if anybody's up there, they got to move towards the south.
It barely cost them anything.
Yeah, it's just tough for you can see the solo player in the mini map. No matter what happens here, the zone can see on the mini map towards the south. Rotate to be able to move west before they make their downward shambles towards the south, and that's how part of the eliminations came to be. It's a great job from that trio to kind of realize that they're all separated as solos, where they can kind of rotate directly into.
We got Ayo, Toronto, and Liam playing a little bit
advantage of a lot of the teams that rotate next to them. It's part of their game plan. They don't necessarily like to go down that box chaotic fight unless they absolutely have to, or just have a super advantage.
Does seem like they have the team watching them out right now to land at the Magic Mosses if
piece or something.
Can't get the pickup here, but off to Reboot Van we go.
Team not necessarily all having the same mobility as the last game. They just kind of make it work with what they have.
Likely another team trying to play for a pickup here.
This time around, though, does seem a little bit easier.
And higher here. We knew that they were going to have to
force. You see the fishing rod that they're hoping to utilize later in the game, depending on where the zone pulls. And since it is pulling towards the south, maybe it goes up towards Proxy. I do believe there is going to be some patches of water. You just got to be able to rotate there first before other teams get the same idea.
It's looking very, very good for them right now. Secure his elimination here. That's going to be a Void Oni Mask here with the high ground special piece right there. The fake Falcon Peter Pan.
I think that's Jeff. I think that's Jeff. We all know how he can be at times.
Oh my gosh. In the lobby right south now.
They know if anybody's up there, they got to move towards the south.
It barely cost them anything.
Yeah, it's just tough for the team rotating in behind you. In the mini map, no matter what happens here, the zone can see how they make the decision right now. Rotate the able towards the west before they make their downward shambles in the same spot as you, or do you try to rotate out early, try to get over that mountain? That's how you see there's already one team. It's a great job from that trio to kind of utilize their best position. They can cut them off, they can rotate directly into.
Now, this team here may be full-on trolling with their names, but their position in the tournament is super sound in game 2 here. They have so much material to work with. The loadout looking very solid here. They don't necessarily like to go down that box fight unless they absolutely have to, or just have a super advantage. They've had a bit of a struggle here outside the mass metal, and they're sticking around trying to see if they can actually find a refresh. I don't know how I feel about this.
Piece or something.
Can't get the pickup here. As Jeff and Trio are looking to jump in, those wood mats are not going to save them for long, and an all-out war breaks out here.
Not necessarily having the same mobility as the last game.
On both sides here, like he was an instant red, Stacks trying to fight around.
Though does seem a little bit easier. The fishing rod that they're hoping to utilize. Thought it was going to be easy, run into a Typhoon Blade, but Stacks still gets caught out. Fortunately, he was separated by himself. HQ Ducky, they were healing up the side. Maybe all they need to do is survive this moment right here, but HQ takes a big shot. You know he has the possibility very down right now. So they're just going all in. Now we're never putting it all on the line, and they get another knock onto Kaz, but just a little bit too late for the Siphon really make a play here. And even more teams shooting back in that direction, all for nothing, because everybody gets taken out. It could be at times.
Yeah, one player left here. He's now trying to stay alive
if anybody's up there, they got to move towards the south.
Unfortunately, no credit from him.
It's just tough for the team rotating
that extra attempted help, but it's Toronto in team that seem to be pushing in right now.
No matter what happens, they have to make the decision right now. They make so many chances on the same spot as you, or you try to rotate out early, try to get over that mountain. You see there's only one team. It's a great job for that trio.
Down he goes. Well, look at this. This is going to surely jump up Toronto and Ayo. Continued.
Trying to get it started.
Now,
Might be more though. I'm
senior
thinking, but wait,
maybe
there's
full on
more.
trolling
I
with
see a
their
solo
area
player.
position in the tournament
Expo's
is
down there. They're
down
gonna go back to that Mass Meadows
They
reboot.
have so much
Let's
material
see
to
how
work
that one
with.
came to fruition.
The
Doesn't
loadout
matter how
looking
strong the
very
blade is.
solid
2v1
here.
in
They're
the same
not
box.
trying to
They
game
don't necessarily like
Dude,
an interesting decision how long he waits as a solo before he tries to make a move.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they
Had
absolutely
it
have to,
or
or
just
just
seems like
Advantage.
they've had a contested struggle here outside the Mass Meadow playing this. They're sticking around right now for a couple zones. Is going to find I don't know how I feel about this. Full west here. As Death Trail. How did you like this area for general endgame as we're leaning right into Canyon? Looking to jump in. Those wood mats are not going to save them for long. Other teams already set up as it seems like the Islands out here.
Does seem a little bit easier. Not necessarily like the launch pad. You can see they're kind of set up with their surge base. It will be a short pad. This is kind of how that fight started. Look, it was going to be easy. Like Stack said, you know what? Forget my shotgun. Let me join in on the fun with the Typhoon Blade. There goes another slam right there. He is just going absolutely crazy. He's trying to sneak a shot on the other side, but by then the damage has been done. Takes a big shot. You know he has the possibility very down right now.
See what team took the high ground. For the Islands that spawn in, it's going to be amplified.
So they're just going all in. Now or never, putting it all on the line, and they get another knock onto Kaz, but just a little bit too late for the Siphon to really make a play here. And even more teams shooting back in that direction, all for nothing, because everybody gets taken out.
Yeah, one player left here. Game one was a wash.
You gotta really hope, anybody's up there. They got a 41 now, just increasingly higher, because if they have to go down, it's just tough for off of the arena and try to fight for their surge. Just remember, Monster, they gotta glide, they gotta avoid their way down. A lot of their movement is gonna be projected by moving way ahead of the
team won't end up waiting for you. Meanwhile, Jingson and Andrew here.
Same spot as you. Try to rotate out early. Try to get over that mountain tower. You see those
get out of here. Look at this. This is going to surely jump up Toronto to mess around here too much longer. This is probably going to spell the end for this trio here. If they can't find a fight, or at least a couple of guys here shortly. Now,
might be more though.
But wait, they're going to already push out the area position in the down there. They have so many material to work with.
Came to fruition.
Look at how desperation is kicking in here. Sin doesn't even wait for his trio at all. He is full committing right now.
Interesting decision how long he waits as a solo before he tries to make a move.
Is going to be They're sticking around. Happens even to the best of us.
Right there for the game, getting caught off guard, seeing the results of the Typhoon Blade in action. They're just trying to spray him down, but not without at least one of their teammates feeling the pain. Canyon crossing. Don't see a lot of fights going down over here. With the zone moving in this direction, he realizes I cannot be the hero. I have to go on as a solo.
Yeah, I like that play right there. Just gets out, finds himself a nice secure set of eliminations.
This is kind of how that fight started. Look, it was going to be easy. Like Stack said, you know what? Forget my shotgun. Let me join in on the fun with the Typhoon Blade. There goes another slam right there. He's just going absolutely crazy. He's trying to sneak a shot on the other side, but by then the damage has been done.
There's that team that's on his heels now, starting to push up. It's not looking good for Nox.
He takes a big shot. You know he's looking very, very down.
Let's see what team took the high ground. For the Islands that spawn in, it's going to be amplified.
Intensely delicious dark chocolate. Ghirardelli Intense Dark.
Now or never, putting it all on the line, and they get another knock on the Kaz, but just a little bit too late for the Siphon to really make a play here. And even more teams shooting back in that direction, all for nothing, because everybody gets taken out.
One player left here. Game one was a wash.
Everything the cold has to offer.
Bread and wine by the
Para
todos los que están triunfando
gotta really
alrededor.
get over
right
here.
now.
They got 41, and now just increasing higher because if they have to go down, it's just tough for the team.
Dentro y fuera de casa, presentamos Power Boost, solo de Xfinity Mobile.
The arena
Este
so
sí es grande.
try to fight for their surge. Just remember, Monster, they got to glide. They got to avoid the rebound. And a lot of their movement is going to be projected by right now. Try to maneuver out, but the team that we saw above surge quickly find themselves below, and that's visuals. That's Brazen, a minute shot on the other side. Steph Curry with the first shot, and he hits it down on the minute. The other team is trying to stay alive. They're still pushing down pressure, trying to save the day. That mountain tower, you see those
Look at this. This is going to surely put Toronto in a run up to about 6 eliminations. Meanwhile, you're too much longer. Even among for this trio here, if they can't find the around them, they still have a short of elimination. More though. However, they have been slow and steadily making their way into endgames in these critical moments now. So they have so much material to work with. Sin doesn't even
That's
wait
teamwork
for
really
his trio
making
at
the
all.
dream work. He has a
He
lot of
is
those
full
teams how make sure it has full effect. Use it with the team. Not too much missing now, but another tough rotation to go.
I thought for a second they were going to take the zip line.
Looks like
James Look at the congested side on the north there. That's what happens when it starts pulling up and out of the canyon there. It is straight vertical.
The results of the Typhoon player in action. I'm just trying to spray him down.
Most teams will want to throw it late so you can build on top of it. So I am interested to see who's going to come out on top of this entire thing.
Crossing my mind right there because this next zone, as it does pull down here, that's all fine and dandy. Moving in this direction. Anybody that chose to go for the low ground is hoping for a north or south pool.
It looks like Ree and Bryce are
I have to go on as a solo.
behind now.
Yeah, I like that.
Finally, they do get to one another. And they are just trying to figure out what is happening there. No vert alive now, and look at this. They haven't even earned themselves any eliminations this game. There goes another slam right there.
Not too many teams have the ability to look up on that high ground team because of all the chaos. And then now we're moving back up
that team
those
that's on the
mountains that
heels
we
now,
just
starting to
came
push
down
up.
from.
Looking good for
Nobody
Knox.
is going to have easy shots in those
Very, very very cautious on how they end up utilizing it. So we're only in zone 9.
Trying to hold on to their spot on the
Intensely delicious
leaderboard.
dark
From
chocolate.
all the way on the southeastern part of the map, making their way over.
They're going to turn the line, and they get another hammer to catch, which is Mats from the high ground. Ship ends up working out. Quick Siamto and Batman Booba have everyone in a barrel to make a play here. More teams shoot back in that direction. Huge mistake so he was slowing down and Cryptid rotates there, and it just turns into pure punishment now as Yamzo is loaded on material now. He's starting to focus up the high ground here.
And this is the stage of the game right now. 16 teams still alive. We're barely starting to get into it right now. So there's a lot of pressure. Teammates going down. Ready to go down. It's just us. So they have an opportunity to look down and they find another elimination. They know they need these resources to make it try this game.
This is very interesting. Yamzo makes the call. Get down here. Get those materials and help them out. Just going back out to the team that's going to be down. May have their main will see. They have a gas to get on the try to maneuver out. is all the more scared of how he's seeing all these players come on. He ends
Saw
up
above
giving
surge,
up
quickly
30
find
mats, no
himself
mats
below,
now.
and that's visual.
Make it
That's
count
Brazen
here.
and Minish
Meanwhile,
on the other side.
Crooked
The first
kicks.
for a shot, and he hits it down. Trying to save the because nobody can look up. They do get the revive off. Clicks is down. Batman Booga and Yamzo. Trying to get 6 points towards too many teams cutting their paths off, making it hard, making a tough rotation, including the high ground. This is their chance to put pressure down on all. So when these balls happen, they can take it with ease.
One of the only full trios left above have high ground right now. Yamzo, Batman, Booga have the match to play. They battle happening around there. Castillo play the low ground here. Late positioning. However, they have to recoup themselves. Yamzo looking for the edit here. Nothing comes through. Will they break the high ground team? I mean, at this point, they just need to find a moment here to breathe. Tyler, he has so many slowing down Kishogun solid. Still have a chance.
That's teamwork making the dream work.
Just the Tyler.
Yeah, so many teams are ripped to shreds, missing 1 or 2 players on their team. Forced to have a couple of consistently, and now it's time to make it work. 2 big shots, make it 3. As Hound goes down, a much-needed elimination. He's going to get the Siphon, the material, a pick-me-up opportunity as he orders to the high ground.
Well, let's see if he ends up focusing on Keep fighting through. It's all up to Shadow now. Onto low ground. He ends up punishing. He ends up with a monster shot there. Elimination comes through. It's up to Batman Booga, the healthy one, to hold things down now in the low ground. He is out of material. Yamzo's got everything. He tries to drop him a heel. Yamzo goes to shot him in the exchanges, and it is all going down right now. How is he do seem to take home game number 2 for the win.
I'm not even in the game, and seeing the Yamzo get those eliminations, my life flashed before my eyes. Crossing my mind right there. Turns around, gets the elimination off the Shadow, and that's when I thought the direction changed, but you got it. They turned this game around. Anybody that chose to go
in Totem got extremely lucky with the way things played out, but they played it masterfully from up above, putting pressure down relentlessly, not giving up his just like that. Yeah, like they win the game. Congratulations. Match number 2 is going to go to Kicks. Level 1 Crick and Totem hand. Zeke, tell me what you got as we say do get to one another. They are just trying to figure out Monster Defense
crazy.
Alive now,
but again, we're seeing the same thing happen. High ground just crazy, Kelly. Do you think these Brony Mavs kind of make that something you can kind of manage? But for Kicks and Company, they're like, hey, we're just hold you down. You guys fight down below, we'll get a victory out, and now we're going to make more finals.
Just like what we saw in Game 1, the team that was holding high ground for the majority of the early moving zones did eventually lose it, and it's really the teams that are kind of paying attention to not just the action that's going on low to middle ground, but also paying attention to that high ground, realizing when teams are getting weaker there, and then taking advantage of that, using the only mass to be able to teleport there, and then holding high ground around zone 10, zone 11.
I mean, I felt bad for Regal watching that game. They positioned themselves so well on the east side of that zone and ended up pulling west all the way over to Shogun Solitude, right? So the take here for this team was pretty easy, being that region here with very minimal matchup. But this is one of those instances where it's like, listen, we're here for the win. A win is a guaranteed final spot. But then it's like, we just watched Batman Booga and Yamzo watch up as a duo in such incredible fashion that we've got to go ahead and check that out too.
Yeah, that's right. We'll break down that and more after this short break, because there's so much to talk about after that last game. One thing to direction.
slowing down and Cryptid rotates there, and it just turns into pure punishment now as Yamzo is loaded on material now. He's starting to focus up the high ground here.
And this is the stage of the game right now. 16 teams still alive. We're barely starting to get into it right now. So there's a lot of pressure. Teammates going down. They have an opportunity to look down and they find another elimination. They know they need these resources. To make it try this game.
This is very interesting. Yamzo makes the call. Get down here. Get those materials and help it out. What's going back out? They got his face may have been made. We'll see. They have a all the more scared of how he's seeing all these players going down. He ends up giving up 30 man. So
He's in a minute on the other side. The first for a shot. He hits it down. Trying to save the because nobody can look up. They do get the revive off. Clix is down. Batman. Fuga Yamzo. Trying to get everyone teams cutting their paths off. Making it hard, making a tough rotation, including the high ground. This is their chance to put pressure down on all that stuff. So when they they can take it with ease.
One of the only full trios left above have high ground right now. So Batman will have the match to play this round happening around there. Continue to play the low ground here, play positioning. However, they have to recoup themselves. Yamzo looking to be out of here. Nothing comes through. Will they break the high ground team? I mean, at this point, they just need to find a moment here to breathe. Teamwork here making the dream work.
Yeah, so many teams are ripped to shreds, missing one or
Welcome
two
back in, everybody, to the
FNCS.
FNCS. We just got done with game number 2, which means we're about to enter that halfway point. Remember, we only have 5 games today. So a lot of things to talk about after the last game, but Quick Shadow once again taking the level 1 approach, and Tottenham, they got themselves the victory royale. They're going straight to the Major 1 finals. But let's talk about some other things we saw in that last game, like Yamzo and Batman Fuga. We saw Clix kind of going down, and then they're just running around as a duo. And a lot of these matches, in a similar situation, in the like shambles kind of situation they're in, would kind of crumble. These guys,
maybe any one of these players here could easily solo clutch, and that's exactly what we saw from Yamzo and Batman Fuga. Although that's not necessarily something Yamzo really was the star of this game right here, getting Elam after Elam. The amount of aggression that we got to see from them, even when Clix did go down right here, did not slow them down at all. They understand that if they're going to be in the low ground, if they're not going to be able to go for a win here, then they need to bring their elimination points to hold up consistency.
It was actually huge, right? We saw Yamzo get cracked too, right when they got down to the final moments of this game. They quickly picked up 2 eliminations. Continue to play out this game. That's going to be the first of the 2 right there. Yamzo instantly able to go into the storm and kind of clutch out of that duo right there.
Take home game number 2.
Oh no, everyone has moved except for Clix, Batman Fuga, and Yamzo, who are still in 4th place.
I'm not even
why did you curse us? But listen, Kelly, theoretically, right? Or I guess in some ways, second, right? Because either you get picked or you end in the top 5, which on this leaderboard will look like 6th through 10th. Just think top 5 places, right? More on that later. Don't worry about it. Right now, Clix, Batman Fuga, they came their base in 2nd place. Shadow, Tyler, and Curve. They're currently in 7th place after that last game, but we also saw them in that last kind of top 3 situation. I love kind of seeing the different trios and how they're kind of adapting, how they're looking to approach some of these end games. I mean, at the end of the day, Fortnite is like a resource management game, right? What can you take with you to the very end, and how do you kind of manage with what you have? These guys did well. They're currently in 7th, right?
Yeah, especially considering the fact that they were landing all the way over in Flooded Frog, so that was quite a rotation that they had to make all the way in Shogun Solitude. Kind of control this middle ground right here and use the advantage of where the zone was polling.
I mean, one of the craziest things that I actually saw amongst this collective that do ahead was Tyler ended up getting caught in the back of the zone, right? Ended up having to use the Voidmaster to go up right there. Somehow Shadow made his way immediately back to Tyler, right? The regrouping right there amongst this duo was incredible.
Crazy. But again, we're seeing the same thing happen.
I really think also this shows just Shadow being the veteran of this trio, although all of them do have great performances. Shadow really is kind of the leader of the trio. Be at the frag at the end is such an important part, and we actually had a few interviews with some pro players earlier on asking what the differences were between duos and trios.
Something you can kind of manage,
really interesting that one of the pro players said is
they're like,
so we saw in games traditional roles of the IGL, the fragger, and the support aren't really there anymore. Everyone's hiding high around the majority of the early especially zone, Zidaven, and it's really the teams that are kind of paying attention to not just the action that's going on low middle ground.
We kind of talk about what we see, but them as a player is always going to be that extra perspective that we may not always get. So that's pretty cool. Thank you for that, Kelly.
To that high ground, realizing when John's taking a weak advantage and then taking advantage of that.
And a lot of people would look at that and go, wow, this is a big moment for them. But then the zone decides to bounce in the completely opposite
For Rio watching that game, their materials right there while they're on high ground. You can see that something was clearly invested into that position right there, and just instantly ended up getting contested. Maybe the trio saw they were only a duo up there, but shout out to them, right? You are a duo at the end of the day. You might as well try to claim one of the best positions. A win is a guaranteed final spot.
Something you called out earlier too, where it was Zone 7 or Zone 8, where Reet and Bryce had a great position, and then the zone just pulled the exact opposite way. So maybe they're a little embittered by the zone, and they're like, no, you know what, we're taking high anyway.
Sometimes it goes your way, right? Just the RNG nature of the game, sometimes it doesn't, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The zones will do what the Raptors do. But with that being said, it is again that halfway point of the competition. 3 games left to go. Remember, victory or break, because there's so much to talk about after that last game.
Thank you so much. One more time, Monster. They said it was the halfway point. Time really does fly when you're having fun, and I hope these competitors are too as well. 2 spots already gone. 8 spots left to go. And 5
just turns into pure punishment. That's right. You're up in the standings, and you've already broken about the 100+ point threshold. You're feeling pretty good. He's loaded on material now. He's starting to focus up the high ground here. Rounds, you just have to claw your way
right now. 16 teams still alive. We're barely starting to get
victory royale format. You saw in the last game, even with Re and crew being up in the position to succeed, they ran out of material. So let's see it here now for game number 3.
This is a big opportunity, the halfway point. And this is something like Kelly said, hey, maybe game number 3 for Clix, Batman, Bugha, Yamzo. If you're Vivid, you want to enact a little bit of a curse, maybe game number 4. But you can already see on the minimap, a couple of fights already breaking down. You can see over towards Shattered Span, a lot of our contested drop spots with 2 spots opening up. That's doing a lot of mental games to the lobby. Do you switch up now? Do you switch up later? And this is one right now, no matter how many times they fought it out today, this is their 3rd bout that's about to break down off spawn.
Yeah, here at the Floodgate right now, Visuals and Munition Braids, the first to touch down with the high ground here. And we already know they've been battling this one out back and forth. Think about it, for every team, for every game that passes, essentially, a new drop spot does open up. A team either becomes free to move in or possibly uncontested there onwards. This game, no different. Right now, my thought process is going back on over to the Magic Mosses, the Lost Lake right here with Clix, Batman, Bugha, Niamzo. These are the teams that are likely most affected, with other teams moving into the vicinity now.
Yeah, and you gotta think about their performance evaluation history. 4 games, right? Recently, they've been winning 2 of those 4 games. So with these next couple games coming up, you got to be looking at them to kind of figure out what has been going wrong throughout those first 2 games, fix it, and advance to the Major 1 finals, because you really don't want to wait till the last moment. No matter how good you are, anything can happen in the FNCS.
That is right, but they're well on their way right now as far as pace. Intercept. Demons Dojo mixing it on up. It's not looking too good right now as Nick is dropped here from this trio. Lix is trying to fight to his best abilities right now. Not looking good for Eddie. He's got something to say as he finds 2 and a 3rd, and all of a sudden now things start to even out here. It's a 1v1. What?
Peanut butter and jelly, spaghetti and meatballs, Eddie and the Typhoon Blade. All things that just come together because he's seemingly finding a lot of HP back up, using the minis, and now ends up because he has the Typhoon Blade. Champo doesn't. He gets into the box and gets the elimination.
I can't believe he just did that. That's a 3-piece pickup, essentially, full-on clutching here. You know what? You got to give respect to Lix as well. He hits the shot that matters to get it here. Nothing comes through. Will they break the high ground team? I mean, I had them counted out. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought it was over, but things change just that quickly. Jumping on with Death, Encrypted, and Sales here. They have moved out of the Kappa Kappa factory here, now going north as the zone's kind of playing this outskirts. So this is part of the rotate here to Cap Metal. Oh, nice little find there. He's going to have options for the Oni mask now.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping, because you saw Sales, he doesn't have any rotation. Don't really know about Encrypted and Death. Got to have him, imagine at least one of them, but with another team moving in. Oh, and he thought he was going to be a safe reboot. You can see it's already been charged. His teammates end up back, having to watch him try to clutch up. And with this full trio here, it's not like they're going to be able to disengage on out easily.
Magic Moss is coming in such a hot spot. Eddie misses the shot that matters most right there. And now he tries to escape, but he gets caught, trapped in the cone by Tony, and then fully finished there. It's sad to see Magic Moss has become such a hot zone for all these trios, and even the other teams rotating in now. Niamzo, Clix, Batman, Bugha want their fair share of the action. They find Zeus there with the ambush.
Yeah, I feel like the situation they were in last game, low on Surge, having to box to box, where they're being a little bit more proactive in this game, probably helping by the zone. As we tune down in Bryce and Reet, it's kind of standard game plan. They thought they were going to be two players already positioned, and then and try to get what loot is left on over. Kind of trusting in his team. We talked about different roles, but his team.
Is just listening nearby. Seems like they're going to decide to rotate out, taking what little bit of damage that they found there. Even greeting a couple heal ticks there, wasting no time.